see the slide. Again, if you do not know how to chat, you go down to to individual user. You have to choose new chat, and then you pick my name, and you will chat directly to me. Do you see where I put the hi? It's at the bottom of the square of the box. If you don't know how to do that, you can email me questions during the lecture or afterwards. I think the chat's easier. I just got a call from Bloomberg News, actually, like 10 minutes ago. People are panicking, and they wanted to quote me on a story about the sell-off. So I talked to him for a couple minutes, and I said, send me the article. I guess people are really, really scared. We had a good day today. I saw it this morning in the Gap. We're going to talk today about what I do, but it was a very nice day today. I predicted we would follow through in the Gap today to sell off. And so the panic is starting to come in for people. And for those of you that don't know what I do, I trade gaps. That's what we're going to talk about today. And I'm mostly short. I do go long. We'll talk about some longs today, but I prefer to short. And one of the reasons I prefer to short is because stocks fall faster than they rally. Rick, what are you saying? There was like 500 trades today. I don't know what you're saying you missed. I called like a million things today. You could have picked just one. Are you saying you didn't do anything today? Rick is trading options, and I sent 500 trades today, and he didn't do any. Well, you'll have to do tomorrow. You said you were going to do one a day, Rick. You should have just picked one. You do one trade. All right, great. Let's talk. Let's talk about trading. So we're going to talk about trading the Golden Gap system for a living. And again, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Melissa Armo. You can email me at melissa@thestockswoosh.com. You can follow me on X, Facebook, or YouTube. Probably YouTube is the best place to follow me. So I started trading, gosh, 2008. That's crazy. And if you've been attempting to trade for a long, long time, you're basically been bitten by the market bug. You're not going to stop thinking about it, talking about it, wanting to do it. That's it. This is something that, for whatever reason, and again, for lots of people, the reasons may vary why they want to trade. Maybe they want to change careers. Maybe they want extra money. Maybe they like their job right now. But everyone that trades has a different reason for doing this, but the goal is the same. The goal is for profit, is to make money. But let me tell you something. Again, if you've been attempting to do this back and forth for years, thinking you're going to quit or change your mind, then you get back into it, you've been bitten by the market bug, and you're not going to give up until you figure it out. So just throw yourself into it. You know, my personality was such that I'm a very full-on person, so I did throw myself into it when I started, and there was no looking back for me. But a lot of people are back and forth, you know, and you can't really be like that and expect yourself to be successful. Trading is one of these things where you have to be fully committed to the success. I only trade in the morning, unless it's a day like today where we fell all day, but for the most part, I'm just trading in the morning. So it's not like full commitment means 40 hours a week like a normal job. Full commitment is you're going to take the time, focus, be prepared, be ready to go, be thoughtful about your trades, take a class like mine, learn the system, and get serious about it. Get serious about it. Get serious about making the money, okay? And again, if anyone has any questions, you can just chat in the room or email me. Hopefully everybody can figure out the chats. But if the market bug has you, okay, maybe that's why you're here, then you want to make money. You want to make money, you want to do it. And again, you have to figure out how to do it. And that's what everyone is trying to do. You can make money in the U.S. stock market. Today is a great example. The market fell today. And so what would you have done today? You would have shorted. And that's exactly what we did. We shorted a bunch of different things today. BA was the biggest play we had today. We did puts in BA and also a day trade short. I can pull up the chart when we're done. But the question is, a lot of people don't know how, why, what to do, where to do it, what stock to trade. Typically, I'm looking for one trade a day, but today was one of those days where I knew that we were going to fall. So we did a lot of trades today. And I don't do a lot of trades every day, but today was a day where I knew that the market would pull a lot of stocks down, and that's what happened, okay? So I developed a system over 3 years where I figured out how to trade the gap. Actually, let me just pull this up here. We'll just look at the market. Can everyone see the chart? Rick, you're new, but you can't miss days like today. You cannot not trade days like today, full stop. I know you're new, but you got to do, if I call a lot of trades, you can't not do anything on a day like today. Like, that's your new rule, okay? Because there's some days I only call one thing or nothing. But if I'm calling all these trades, you got to do them, okay? You got to do one. I don't care which one. Can everybody see the chart? Hello? Hello, is anyone there? Or no one can chat? You go to 2, individual user. You have to choose new chat. Then you chat to me. Rick, I know how, you know how to do it. Can you hear me? Can you see the slide? Ooh, Ron got it. Ron is new. You thought you missed what, Rick? The sell-off? No. No. How could you miss it? It's just started. Anyways, long story short, what happened this morning is I woke up in the morning and I saw the market gap. So what is a gap? A gap is due to the close and the open. Simple. But not every gap down goes down. Not every gap up goes up. Not every gap down rallies. Not every gap up drops. So I developed a system over 3 years to figure out the direction of the gap. And I knew that if I could figure out the direction of the gap, I'd be able to make money trading. Gaps are very, 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 very powerful. Where the market's gapping right now. We closed at 619.25. This is a moving market. We're down right now. Do you see this? This is just what I just told Bloomberg this on the phone. I said, I think we're going to keep selling off. And here we are. Now, tomorrow morning is a long, long way away. So I have no idea where we open tomorrow morning. But pretend this was 9:30 a.m. Wednesday. What's tomorrow? I don't even know what day it is because today was such a long day. Yes, tomorrow's Wednesday. Pretend this was Wednesday morning, 9:30. We'd be gapping down. Okay? So anyways, I developed a method to predict the directional bias of a stock that's gapping. So again, that's what I do. So I developed a system, and now I teach a class once a month, and I do it. And I do it every day. And the key to what I'm saying is that, again, you need a strategy. You need a focus. You need a system, okay? Otherwise, on a day like today, you're going to have no idea what to do. You're going to get chopped up. You're going to go long, short, the same stock. You're going to go crazy. You're going to lose, okay? And you don't want to do that. We just talked about the fact that the goal is to make money. And let me tell you something. Days like today are fun. It was crazy this morning. But again, it all worked out. Trading is fun once you feel confident in a strategy. I'm extremely confident in what I do. And that's because I have a lot of experience doing this for 18 years and nothing else. In fact, Rick, you got the email this morning. Will's here. I sent out an email this morning and I said, here's my thoughts. We're going to sell off. This gap is real. So again, I said that before the market even opened at 9:30. So that's extreme confidence. So again, if you're risking money in the market, I don't care if it's $100, $1,000, I don't care if it's 25 grand, you don't want to lose. You need to have something that I call conviction. If you don't have conviction, why are you risking money? Why are you risking 50 bucks? You may as well just go, out and have a nice cup of coffee and a dessert somewhere. It's like it makes no sense for you to risk even $1, okay? If you're unsure if the trade's going to work. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, what's the point? Go back to bed. Confidence makes you happy. Confidence allows you to get through the times when trades don't work your way. Sometimes I take a trade, I take a stop. Then I have to do a retake. If I'm confident, I'll be able to do that and then make back the money from the first trade that lost and then get ahead and actually make money in the day. If I don't feel confidence, I wouldn't be able to do that. I wouldn't be able to trade for 18 years. I wouldn't be able to teach people every week. I wouldn't be able to send out emails like I did this morning before the market even opened. I wouldn't be able to talk to Bloomberg News on the phone. You have to be confident. You may not be as confident as me because you're new, but you have to find a way to build that confidence up and build it and build it and build it. Like when you're working out and you're trying to build your muscles and you're lifting the weights and you're building them to get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And how do you do that? Time, education, making money, even if it's in small amounts. I could say chunk it out. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Okay? And again, any questions, let me know. But anyways, it's very important to unlock the keys to your success. And how do you do that? One strategy. It allows you to be less stressed. Okay? If you're less stressed, you'll feel more relaxed. You'll be able to be more focused, and that will help your confidence too. Okay? And again, what is my strategy? Gaps. Unlock the keys to your own personal profit potential in the market. Learn how to trade one high income paying strategy, which is gaps. Today's a great example because if you have all these people going long like you did this morning, and we're shorting literally near the highs, it's just huge profit when you can get in at a beautiful, beautiful entry like that and get the extension that, of course, we had today, which was the sell-off. Gap trading is where the real money is, where big institutional players are playing. Gaps move the market. Big money moves the market. It creates momentum. And again, trading gaps makes it possible to trade for a living, even if you don't have a big account. You could have a small account and do it. You could have had a small account today. You could have done one contract today. You could have done 100 shares and made money in the market or Boeing or any one of the things we did today. Okay? And if you could do them all, you had a huge day. And you could still be in stuff. Okay? Now, one quality strategy, like I said, was something that I figured out over the course of 3 years, but I also figured out very early that I didn't need to do a lot. All I had to do was get good at one thing and then add the size, which over the course of the years I've done. So again, this, learning a little bit of this, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, you're never going to really make the money that you really want to make. So it's important to be able to find something that you can replicate over and over and over for profits. And when you do, you're going to feel less anxiety when you trade, even if you take a loss. You're going to be like, well, I know the next trade's going to work. Do you know what I'm saying? And having a powerful strategy that pays will open you up to the true profit potential of the market. And I'm telling you that you can have a career doing this. One of the biggest problems I've found with people is they can't stay focused. They just can't do it. I don't know why. I just don't know why. For me, I'm very focused as a person, but a lot of people just can't stay focused. If you know that's an issue for you, figure out a way to change that habit within yourself. And again, professional gaps, which is what I'm doing, are a very high income paying strategy. So what is a professional gap? Let's talk about it. A professional gap is a gap that moves in the direction of the gap. BA did that today. The Qs did that today. The SPY did that today. I can name a million things. PLTR. It's called a professional gap because professional traders and investors are making and creating the gap. And this is who you want to trade with. These people, not retail traders. In the case of a bullish gap, professionals are buying the stock, moving it up. We've gone long some things recently. Therefore, the stock moves higher in the trading day. In the case of a bearish gap, professionals are shorting the stock. That's what happened today. And selling, therefore the stock moves lower in the trading day. So I ended up naming my gap rating system the Golden Gap because it's like finding gold in the market. And there's lots of gaps that happen all the time. Now, there may be days where it's slow and I don't find any gaps that rate per my system. It doesn't mean there isn't any gaps, but they may not be quality gaps. Do you follow what I'm saying? A day like today, again, Rick got all the trades today. Didn't do them. He thought he missed it, but he didn't. You gotta take advantage of days like today. I don't know how many things we get tomorrow. We could have 100 things tomorrow. We could have one. But you got to capitalize on the big days of the market. Golden gaps are professional gaps. They are gaps that have a high odds of working in the day in the correct direction of the gap, which is what happened today, and a large momentum, which is what happened today too. I'm just going to pull this up and just show you from tip to tail. The market ran up here 628.95. Let's just say 627, and it fell all the way down $9 today from tip to tail on average. That's a big move even for the market. Okay. It's a big move. So anything that can put the odds in your favor to trade will give you an edge. And again, you don't have, billions of dollars. You're not running a fund. You have whatever money you have in your account. If it's $2,000, 25 grand, 100 grand, whatever amount of money you have, and you're trying to just grow it, okay? So you need that edge. So when I'm looking at a gap in the pre-market in the morning, I feel I have an edge if I rate it and it rates 20 points or more per my 26-point system. And it does give me an edge. That's how I was able to predict the market would fall today. Before it opened, when I woke up, I saw it at 6 a.m. before I even went out and walked in Central Park, came back. We were still where we were at. I re-rated it, and then I sent the trades out. But you can't do the trades until the open. The 26-point Golden Gap rating system gives you an edge. It reads the price of the gap and then uses technical analysis on an advanced level, pinpoints which stock to trade that day and in what direction. In fact, I sent on the email today too. When I sent out in the morning, I said, some of you, and I'm talking to the subscribers, I said, have been afraid to short. I said, you can't be afraid to short. You have to start focusing on the chart. Again, I'm not afraid to go long or short. I'm certainly not afraid to short. I love to do it. But a lot of retail traders now are so afraid to short. Why? I get why. I get it. I said that in the email too. I said, I get it. But forget that nonsense. You're in your head if you're afraid to short. Nothing goes straight up and nothing goes straight down. And I said that to Bloomberg News too. But the fact is that you're going to get hammered if you're only going long every day all the time. You can't. You just can't. You have to figure out how to play both sides. You follow what I'm saying? And in a bullish market, you can short and go long. In a bearish market, good luck trying to find something to go long that's going to work. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm saying it's a hell of a lot harder than it is finding something to short in a bullish market. Do you follow me? Now, I see some people coming in late. Can everybody see the screen? Are you with me? Hello. You go down to 2, chat, then you have to choose my name to chat. I mean, or you can email me questions, but it's easier to do it in the room. Anyways, the high probability that I'm trying to find every day is in the chart. It's in the quality and detail in the rating system. Again, look at the chart. If you're trying to turn on the TV and say blah, 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 everybody has a different opinion, okay? 26 points is an enormous amount of detail. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes to rate one gap if you're new, and it takes less than 5 minutes once you become experienced with the system. So again, I've been doing this longer than anybody, but I still don't squeeze it or rush it or jump it. I take my time. I really go through it. I like to be relaxed. I want to be prepared. I don't like to rush it, okay? Herman can hear me. Herman can see. Is there any way you can rate this before the market closes so we can buy before the close? I don't know what you mean buy before the close. First of all, you're not going long anything right now. That's number one. Secondly, why would you want to do a trade? First of all, you can't trade any options now. It's too late in the day. So you can't do any puts now at all, Rick. So I don't know why you're wanting to do puts now. It's 4:21. It's too late. I'm confused your question. Rating the market gap now is meaningless because it's going to change between now and tomorrow. So I'm confused what you want to do. You can rate anything tonight, but why? It's like a waste of time because tomorrow morning we could look completely different, and I can't take a trade now anyways. So I'm kind of confused what you want to do. You can't rate a gap before the close because it hasn't gapped yet for the next day. I can tell exactly what you're thinking, Rick. And let me talk about this Oracle trade, then I'm going to pull up the chart. I know exactly what you're thinking now. I'm trying to read your mind. I think I know what you're thinking and why you didn't do the trades today. Anyways, cost of this Oracle trade, we did the 270 puts was $7, which is a nice trade. Here was the chart. So we bought the puts in this. I don't know if you did this, Rick. This was a nice trade. Again, it went, okay, this expired last week. We already did it, got out. Here was the chart, 1021 I called it. And it went boom, boom. Do you see this? I mean, again, sometimes things take a couple of days. Sometimes things go immediately. This trade backed up against me. I was down in this trade before it went. And look where it went. Crazy. Beautiful sell-off. Beautiful short. A nice trade. Fell all the way down to 255. And again, if this had gone immediately, I would have made more. I would have made more, but I still made money in it. Let's just talk about this. Rick, you're thinking the only way you can make money in a gap is if you get in at the close before the next day opens. No, that's so wrong. That's what you're thinking, and that is not correct. So ixnay on that. Here is the close of the day, whatever day this was, the 29th. Whatever price that is, it is. You don't have no idea where it's going to open in the next day. So why would you take a trade into the close? That makes no sense. You don't even know what it's going to do tomorrow. You don't know if it's going to do this or it could do something up here. So why would you take a trade there? The only time I do a trade late in the day after 3 o'clock is if I do feel like 100% conviction that it's going to continue the next day, which is rare, and I don't do it all the time, but it can happen. And I don't remember the last time I did that, but it's rare. But as far as what you're thinking, you think this is the only way you can make money between 275 and 270. That's wrong. And you should know that already now, being on the newsletter with me, that that's wrong. Do you understand that? Tell me you get that. Because you didn't do today's trade because this happened here and you thought, oh shit, I missed it. No, you didn't miss it. I didn't call a trade in the queues until this morning. I don't know why you think this, but trash that thought. It's wrong, and you already know it's wrong. And no, you don't suck, but you have to learn this. And that's why I'm explaining this. Now I know why you think this, but it's wrong thinking. And let me know you understand that. And any other questions? I'm talking to Rick here specifically because he thinks if you don't do the trade before 4, that he's going to miss it. And I'm not predicting the gap. I'm predicting the direction the gap's going to go after I see the gap. Follow me? Well, that explains a couple things you've done recently. Anyways, who makes gaps? Large institutional money. Gaps are created with large institutional money. That is what makes the gap, okay? And again, anybody else can ask me questions here too. The professional gaps that happen and play out in the stocks are formed by one thing and one thing only, large institutional money. Therefore, you need a way that will help you pick the correct direction to play the gap and confirm that the large money will flow with it. By having a formula to rate and qualify the gap, you get confirmation and conviction that the large institutional money is on your side and you play it. Gaps are an event and they create a sense of urgency. Thus, an action is being forced by participants at the stop. You get it? And this is why gap trading is incredibly powerful. Trading gaps is a powerful and profitable way to trade because you're trading the side of power money. Again, I wait till the gap occurs, Rick. Then I rate it. Okay? Here's another one we did, TXN. Again, this was Wednesday the 22nd. This was a put. So if you're on the newsletter, you get the trade, boom, goes to your email. 9:17 came in before in the morning. You could have paid such a cheap price for this. It was ridiculous. $1.50, sold at $2.70. This was a nice trade. Not even a big trade. Just 80-some%. That's not even that crazy of a big trade. We did it on the 22nd. Again, this was very similar. Closed here, gap down, reversed, and then tanked here. So I did this trade. I was down in the trade, and then it went. Again, that doesn't happen every trade. Like today, the trades went, we did today, but look there. That took a couple of days too. See it? So again, that's one of the reasons why I also tell people risk an amount you can afford to let the trade play out. Because what if it doesn't go immediately? I mean, it could. BA went right away today, but what if it takes some time? So learning is important. You learn, you do it. You learn, you do it, you follow me. There's another girl in the room. She's really, really new. She's been doing good, but some days she just didn't do the trade. She just didn't do the trade. And I said, you have to follow me. You have to follow me. She gets nervous about her sizing. If I call the trade, the trades hit quickly. I said, just do what I'm doing. Follow me. That's the benefit of being in the room. Okay? You do the trade as I'm doing it live. But I said, don't make it harder than it is, because if you get in your head about stuff or you make it harder than it is, then you're going to have problems mentally and it's going to affect your confidence, which we were just talking about, that you need. A lot of people trade the market and are not confident in themselves. I don't even know what the percentages are. It's probably very similar to the percentages of people that lose. So if 90% of the retail traders that trade the market lose, it's 90% that have low level confidence in themselves. And they have total anxiety and stress all the time. And are always questioning themselves if they're doing the right thing, whether they're getting in, getting out, whether they lose, or whether they make money. Don't do that to yourself. Be one of the people that is confident. Be one of the people that follows a steady course of action, stays within your risk, takes profits, doesn't be a pig, focuses on one thing a day. Don't make it harder than it is by trying to do a million things, okay? And trying to get tricky. But, you know, again, to make thousands of dollars very quickly in the morning is really a great job. Now, today I happen to hold trades for a while because we had the market with us, but tomorrow I might get in and out of the trade and be out in 5 minutes. It's the idea of doing it and making the money. The results is what counts. To go back and look at somebody and say, wow, that worked. How did Melissa see that was going to work at 6 o'clock in the morning before the market even opened? That's the genius in the system. And again, it's based on technical analysis. So it's not based on something that you can't even comprehend. It's based on a chart. You got to get a chart. You get a chart, you do the class, you learn it, you do it. And again, so many people just have no idea what to look for. And for me, again, we talked about a couple options. We're going to talk about a couple day trades. I like to do both. I like day trades. I like options. I like the fast money on the day in the day trades. I like options because I can get follow through in an option. I just showed you two. But again, if you want to just do options, fine. If you want to do options because you don't have a margin account, that's fine. If you want to do day trades because you prefer the day trades, you get nervous about holding overnight, that's fine, okay? But if you're going to do options, you got to know, and I just showed you two examples, and not every trade goes the day I call it. So you got to be okay with holding overnight. Otherwise, you're going to kill a trade and take a loss in a trade that goes on to work for me, and you don't want to do that. That's silly, okay? Any other questions here? How are we doing? New people. New people, old people, regulars, any questions? I was just going to say something else now and I forgot. We're talking about the market. Again, I think sometimes it's like in people's mind, they want to make the money, they're starry-eyed about the money, they want to make it, but then people are so scared to make it. They're scared. You can't be scared. What if you got in a car accident and you have to go into surgery and you're scared? So are you going to be injured for the rest of your life, or are you going to go let the doctor operate on you? Either you're going to be injured forever, or you're going to have to go in and face the music and get on the operating table. Again, it's dissecting the information. It's making informed decisions. It's taking a trade and looking at the risk reward and saying, you know what? Yes, I'm risking $1,000. Yes, I'm risking $500 or $2,000, whatever you're risking, but I feel that this is worth taking the risk. And what's going to convince you of that? If you don't have a system like mine, I don't know what's going to convince you. It's a 50-50 crapshoot, and that's how most people trade. I'm telling you, that's how most people trade. Most people trade like that, and most people are managing people's money like that, because I have a lot of friends that are money managers, and all they do is go long, and they haven't started really panicking yet with the gap down today, but trust me, in the next 2 or 3 days, they will if we continue to sell off. They will be starting to panic more. The goal of making money, again, is to really, really make it. But in order to see that income, to get the profits, you have to move away from the fear. And the only thing that's going to move you away from the fear is the information and the knowledge. Otherwise, you're basically gambling. Does that make sense? No, I scan every morning. Ron is saying, do I stock scan or follow a certain list? I have stocks I look at all the time, usually because I'm in something or in the sector on something, but I scan every day. So we could do a different thing every day. I never know. That was a good question. But anyways, making money fast is fun. I consider even doing a trade in a couple days fast for an option if I'm holding overnight. And if I'm doing a trade quick in the morning, 5-10 minutes, that's really fast. Any other questions? Anyways, to give you some perspective of the money you can make in the market, you could start out with a small account, and if you don't take any money out and you follow all the right actions, follow me in the room, you could grow it without having to actually add to it. The problem with a lot of traders is they don't know what they're doing. They might fund an account, say they put 10 grand in an options account or something. They risk half their account or their whole account, which you should never do in one day or 1 week, blow up, and then have to refund it. So again, you say, well, okay, well, how do I know what to risk? First of all, you could ask me, but you always want to err on the side of to the lower side. Because when you have to refund your account, that doesn't really help your confidence. Do you know what I mean? We're just talking about raising the bar, raising your confidence. If you do something stupid and you risk too much money or too much percentage of your account, and for whatever reason you make a mistake, or maybe the trade just doesn't work and you risk too much and you have to refund your account, or even to get over the 25,000, because you know, if you're margin trading and if it falls like 1 penny under 25,000, you have to refund it. You won't be able to trade on margin at 4 to 1. That hurts your confidence. You know what I mean? Even if you have the money to refund it. So the goal is to keep your confidence up. The goal is to keep your account intact. The goal is to learn and start small and to grow it so that you can really go hog wild, which, how will you know when? Well, you'll know when you get out of that fear bubble, when you actually are starting to see some consecutive weeks of profitability and consecutive months where you're making money. And if you're not sure something will go to a bigger number, guess what? Ask me. If you're like, I don't know, is this one I should hold, Melissa? Yes or no? And then I'll tell you. So you can do exactly what I'm doing. Rick has another question. Go ahead. You made $1,800 on my Amazon calls. Fabulous. Here, we can look at that trade. Again, I sent out an email on that. I sent out an email on that. I said, boom, boom. Well, you did. I can tell you why you did this trade, Rick. Because it fell. In your mind, you didn't think you missed it. But you got to reverse that in your head. Anyways, I called calls here. And it gapped up here on Monday. And it was a nice trade. And we got out. And Rick made $1,800. But Rick, that was a lot of money for the size of your account, I will tell you. And it was a nice trade. It was a nice trade. But that was a big risk. I think. It was a nice trade, though. But you got out. You weren't a pig. Here was the exit. So again, this is a good example where stock closed here at 244.22. Boom. Gapped up and opened at 255.36. And we were already in the trade overnight. Again, you can always ask me. Anyways, being successful, we were talking about being confident, is empowering. It allows you to move through life and make decisions about other things with your life. Financial decisions, relationship decisions, business decisions, health decisions, things that are going to help you grow and flourish and thrive in this world. It's very difficult when you're feeling down on yourself and you're feeling like a loser and you're losing money and you hate yourself and you're always questioning your decisions. Who wants to live like that? So many people trade the market and they're stressed out all the time. I would never do this if every day was stressful. I try to make it fun, but again, success is empowering, and that's what you should strive for. That has to be the goal. So what helps me do it? The 26-point checklist. This is what you learn in the class. The first day of the class is all the 26 points. Day 2 is the entries and the exits. So I use a 26-point checklist to trade. I just go with it. I set my risk. If it rates 20 points or more, I do it. I don't question it. Some trades I take lose. Some trades work. And some work pretty big. Okay? But at the end of the day, I have more winners than losers. And that's the only way to get ahead. But I never veer off the rating system. I never second guess myself. I never question it. You know what I'm saying? So it's a rating system for gaps that I use to find stocks to trade that have, number one, a high probability of directional bias for the entire day, hopefully, like today. Big moves of the day, like Boeing. Boeing fell today, big move of the day. Early confirmation of my bias on the move between 9:30 and 10, trying to get in as fast as I can, and precise entries with follow through and a good risk to reward, which again I go over in the class. So the whole philosophy behind my system is to analyze a large time frame to make the trend decision on the directional bias for the gap. All large traders of every kind look at large time frames to make decisions, particularly institutional traders, and to make entry decisions and exit decisions based on a small time frame on the 1-minute chart, which has a high degree of focus and accuracy. Again, I was mentioning the one lady sometimes the trade's set up so fast, and so she's unsure of her sizing. I said, take 100 shares. Take 100 shares, get in, and then you can add. You know what I mean? Just get it with me. Because sometimes things go really quickly, and we could be out in 15 minutes. Using the daily chart to make the decision for the stock pick allows for accuracy in the direction, and using the 1-minute chart allows for good risk-to-reward trades with accuracy. Accuracy counts. Again, that is how you're going to be able to get in, put the stop, and then feel confident that worst case scenario you lose, you're only going to lose what you risked. You're saying, well, what about options? I don't have a stop in options. I take the trade, I let it play out. And then if it loses, I lose in the whole thing, basically. Okay? I'm not killing it in the middle of the trade. So the Golden Gap strategy is a great risk-reward payout, which creates a high income potential. What's a good risk-reward? 1, 2, or 3. Again, I'm trying to get to 100%. Some are much longer. Same thing with options. If you want to hold to a bigger target, again, Amazon was a nice trade. When we went long that, BA is a nice trade. These are things that can go more. If you're like, I don't know if I want to hold, if you have 2 contracts, get out of one, hold the other one. Okay? Again, it's the precise entries that help. It's getting in early. And honestly, 50% to 75% is really a good payout for an option, especially in a crazy market. Now, again, today we had things in our favor where we had the market help. So again, it was one of those days where you could get the extension on things, but every day I'm looking at the same system. Every day I'm looking at the same point system. It pinpoints opportunity for you to enter before the big move happens. And again, I'm not entering trades in the after hours. You can't do options then, but you could just buy or short stock. But again, long story short, I wait until the next day. I wait to rate the gap. I wait to see the gap, and then I rate it. Like I said, I have no idea where the market opens tomorrow morning. We could gap up, we could gap down. I have no idea. I have to wait. But once I go through that process, when I see it, then I come up with the criteria number, the total. And again, it's for me, the cutoff is 20. So if I rate 3 things, one rates 20, one rates 21, one rates 22. And if I only want to do one trade, I'll do the one that rates the highest. If I rate something and it rates 15, I'm not going to do it. And I'm not going to flip it either. Do you know what I'm saying? I just won't do it. So again, how much to risk to make $1,000 a day if this is your goal? But I think this is a light goal because I think a lot of trades you can make more than this with me. But if you want to, I'd risk between 500 and 1,000. Try to turn it over at least once. I'd stick to 2 trades, max maybe 3. If I'm doing 3 or 4 trades, I'm probably having a bad day. Usually most of the days we only do 1. I'm talking about day trades. With options, I might go 3 days with no trades at all. And then I might have a day where I do 7 trades. So if you're at the point where you're like, I can't do 7 things at once, then just do 1 trade a day no matter what, even if it's options. And if I don't call any trades on one day, then you don't do any that day. Don't chase the trade from the day before that went on to work. Okay? And once you know how to make money in the market, again, the sky's the limit. You could do longer term options. You could do leaps. I'm not doing that, but you could. You could. It's, you could hold for longer. You can take more risk. Again, some people start out doing options. They end up getting into day trading too. They do both. It's whatever works for you at this point in your life with how much you're willing to actually, that you can afford, okay? Can you open up a margin account, or do you need to open up an options account first? Start with that. Again, you don't need a margin account to trade options. Some people have retirement accounts. You got to look into that. You got to find out if you can do puts in your retirement account. We're buying puts and selling them to get out. We're buying calls and selling them to get out. You have to be able to buy puts, so you have to find out. But that's something you have to call and find out from your individual broker. Any questions about that? And there's prop accounts out there. There's a million prop places. You have to do your due diligence in finding them if you want to do margin trading. Some are good, some are not good. You know what I mean? So you have to check them out on your own. If you're at a certain age in your life, which, a lot of people might be, and this could be, you could be 50. You don't have to be 80 to feel like this. With inflation and everything else, a lot of people are at certain stages in life and they're not doing as well as they think they should be financially. They feel like they're behind the 8 ball. They feel frustrated. They feel like, life's taken a turn unexpectedly. I think we could all say that since COVID, like the way that the world has changed. And I don't think it's ever really going to go back. You know what I mean? I don't think we're ever going to really see pre-COVID prices for food. I don't know about real estate, but the world has changed. And so knowing that, you have to take care of yourself. You have to take care of your family. Okay? But trading is fun. It really is fun. Making money is fun. Making money fast is fun. Being able to predict that something can happen before it happens is an exhilarating feeling. The fact that I trade and can actually turn it into profit is great. But, again, if I had gone on TV this morning, if I was on, Fox or whatever this morning and said what I said on the email that I sent out to people this morning before the open, I would have felt fabulous, even if I wouldn't have made it back in time for the open to trade, to take the trades. It's really something when you're doing this and you feel such a high level of confidence that you can do it. Because I'm telling you, you need that confidence to take the trade. You need the confidence to take the risk. You need the confidence to hold it. And you also need the confidence when a trade doesn't go your way. Because if you take a trade and you stop, when you don't feel confident about your choice, you'll get scared. And you'll say, well, I should have done it. And then you won't do the next one. And then you'll miss the one that goes. That's the big one. Do you follow me? Does that make any sense? So again, we were talking about job security in today's economy. Even if you love your job, even if you don't want to trade for a living, what's wrong with having extra money? This doesn't take that much time a day. It doesn't take that much time a week. You can do options. You don't even have to be in the room. You know what I'm saying? Today's world is not the same world as 25, 30 years ago, or even 5 years ago. What we think is a secure job today may be gone tomorrow. Look at what's happened with the government shutdown. Look at the world economy and the decisions the lawmakers are making for you. They're actually making no decisions. Honestly, I think sometimes Congress is just worthless. Do you want to create your own future, or do you want someone else to determine it? We can be great employees, productive, outgoing, hardworking, and may not even matter to our employer in the end if the company can't keep you on. I remember when I was doing mortgages during the collapse. This is one of the reasons I wanted to get out, and I found trading and I decided to do it. But of course, at the time, I didn't know anything about trading. And then I taught myself. But this was 2007, 2008. I was working my ass off 7 days a week. I couldn't get any loans approved. The market was falling. Companies were going under. I was arguing every day with underwriters. Nobody wanted to approve loans. The people that wanted to borrow money and buy houses had shitty credit, and then nobody wanted to do them at the time because everybody was afraid then of poor credit scores when things were collapsing with the bank bailout. Does anybody remember this? This was like 2009 then. It was nutty. I was working so hard, and it didn't even matter. I mean, my customers appreciated me at the time that I was trying to help borrow money and buy houses or refinance. But the banks I was working for couldn't give a crap. They didn't want to lend. You know what I mean? So again, when you set your own course and you're starting to trade and you're working for yourself, there's nobody looking over you and telling you, do this, do that. I'm in the room and I'm, saying, I like this and here's the target, but it's up to you to do it. You have to press the button. You have to do it. Okay? But there is some sort of freedom in that if you really want to do this, you should embrace. Okay? But you do have to have some oversight on yourself. You can't go hog wild. You know what I mean? Like where you risk your half of your account or your whole account, like we were talking about earlier. But anyways, if a company has poor management, they might fail. If it has nothing to do with you, or the industry might fail, or it may have a problem, it's got nothing to do with you. Look at what's happening at the airports right now because of the shutdown, especially around here in New York. I don't even know what they're going to do, how many flights are grounding, or what's going to happen, or people might be put on leave. It's gotten completely out of hand with the shutdown. Your industry might fail. It's got nothing to do with you. It could be banking, could be mortgages, again, could be airlines, healthcare, any of it. You could be a great person, a skilled mind. You could be a hard worker, and it may not even matter. So there's no downside to learning to trade. You would be the one to create your own job security. You can create your own opportunity by taking it upon yourself to learn to trade the market and make money, okay? And however long it takes you is as long it takes you. If you do the class, and the class is 2 days, it's this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and if you have a million questions afterwards, you ask me. You ask me in the room. You could do the class and understand every single thing I say. And come Monday morning, boom, you hit it. I don't know. Everyone's different, okay? Every person is different. Everyone has a different background. And some people have to unlearn things. Some people are trading, doing things that just don't work, and they have to reprogram their mind. Do you know what I'm saying? One of the reasons I'm very good at doing this is because I just see, I got up this morning. First of all, I looked at my phone, and I'll tell you what I did this morning. I looked at my phone when I got up. I said, whoa, the market's down. And then the first thing I thought to myself is, you know what? I'm going to open up my chart. I'm not even going to rate anything. I'm going to wait till I get back from my walk in the park. I walk in the park. It was a beautiful morning. It was cold. I said, I'm just going to open it up, and I'm just going to, the first thing I think I'm going with, like that was what I said to myself, because again, I'm fully aware of the fact the market's made like 27,000 brand new all-time highs this year. So I just, I got up this morning and I saw on my phone, I said, I want to make sure this gap is real. And again, I did the rating, I did all that when I got back, when I had breakfast, but I opened up everything really early, 6 a.m., and I looked at it, I said, the first thing I think, instinct, I'm going with it. And as soon as I saw it, I said, woo, it's going to go. And then I came back, I took my walk, I came back 2 hours later, 3 hours later, whatever, rated everything, it all checked out, and we did it. And then I sent the email. So again, when you're doing something for a long time, your brain just remembers. You have a memory. It's a memory. I'm reading this in the technical analysis in the charts, but it's not that hard once you do it and you learn it, because you've seen it before, or you understand what you're looking at. Does that make sense? Rick, I think you're eventually going to end up doing the class. You've clearly made money already. You just made $1,800 on Monday. So, I mean, again, you're going to have to do the class because you don't understand everything about gaps, and you definitely would make more money if you did. But you're making money now without doing it, but I think you should. Well, maybe you can do the class in December. But you missed out on today, Rick. You could have made $1,800 today. Any other questions? New people, old people. Ron, do you have any questions? I was going to say something else now and I forgot. Okay, so the more often you make money on a consistent basis, the more confidence you will build in yourself and the more conviction you will have in your own ability to trade well. Again, that sounds very simplistic, but it's true. And it makes perfect sense. One of the most valuable things that you learn during the Golden Gap course is to have conviction in the Golden Gap strategy. And then when you see it play out and you make money, then you really believe it. This conviction will help you produce positive results, and that's what you want. It's not that you're never going to have a loss. You will. I have trades that don't work, but I have a fixed risk, and I don't let them completely run against me when I'm day trading. I put in a stop. It's a limit order stop. It's a hard stop. Staying positive might be a challenge for some traders, but it is a requirement for success. This is a requirement for success for anyone who wants to earn money in the market in any amount. Again, it's like either you're going to make money or you're not going to make money. Whether you're risking 100 shares or 1,000 shares or 10,000 shares has to do with the size of your cash. You still have to work within your account size, but I'm telling you, once you get it down, there's no reason you can't risk more and grow it. And that should be the goal. I don't know what you mean a probability, Ron. Do you mean win ratio, or what are you talking about? Or percentage, or I'm not sure what you mean by that. And again, I was talking about you need the right attitude for any amount of money. So why not make it big? But again, you have to learn it first. Some trades, again, you could make 400 or 500% on. Again, if you risk $1,000, you could make $4,000, $5,000. You don't know. If you get out early, then you won't. But if you're new, I have no problem with you getting out early. Again, I'm just going to go back up here. Let's go to this one here. Let's say you did the BA I called today, okay? Let's say you got out of this trade today, we did puts and you made money, fine. I'm just making this up. I have no idea where we open tomorrow. But if BA opens tomorrow at 195, that's going to be a big trade. Now, Rick didn't do it. And don't chase it tomorrow, Rick. I would just wait for the next trade. But again, if you did 2 contracts, you could have got out one today and hold the other one. If you want to hold this, I think there's nothing wrong with doing that. And I actually am in this. I'll just tell you I didn't get out of it because I think it's lower. But anyways, if you are in 5 things on a day, I'm just making this up, say it's a Tuesday, and you're in 5 trades and they're all up and it's 3:30 and you have to make a decision, don't get out of all 5 then if you think we're lower. Get out of 3, hold 2. Get out of 2, hold 3. Like, just be normal about it. Do you know what I mean? Don't hold everything, don't get out of everything. Just try to be normal so that you can get a big percentage winner if we keep going lower, which I think we do. But whether it happens tomorrow, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So some trades are bigger than others, but you could have gotten out of this. Well, you get out when you're up. And again, I'm looking for 50 to 100%. But if I've got the market with me like today, then I obviously will hold something. Now, again, going back to this, why wouldn't you get out of this yesterday? First of all, I sent the alert. But again, you can see here, if you didn't get out of this yesterday, you were down today. So you missed the exit. Now, you did get out. So you're asking me, how do you know to get out? You knew to get out. You knew to get out. You damn well knew to get out. It was in the money. You were up a lot. And you said, poof, I'm getting out. Now, did you get out because I sent the email or would you have got out of your own? I don't know, Rick. I don't know. But again, the targets are on the newsletter. I gave you the targets. You should be looking at the targets. It hit through some of the numbers. I gave the targets in this today. 198. Guess what? It broke 198. It came down to 197.57. I said 198. Where did it go? 198. So I'm giving you the targets. That was a good question. Okay. So the Golden Gap course teaches a 26-point professional bearish gap rating system. If you come and you want to learn my system, this is what you're going to learn. The purpose of the system is to help you evaluate which gap to trade each morning using a checklist. That's how I make the picks. And the Golden Gap course teaches a strategy on how to trade gaps. The course teaches a 26-point rating system to find the best stock to trade each day. The course also teaches students how to play the stock on the day, which again, if you're in the room, I'm calling the trades. And if you want to do options, you get in the newsletters. The course teaches students chart analysis and technical analysis on an advanced level, which is extremely important. Now, on this, again, it seems like a long time ago, but we actually went long the market, as crazy as it seems, a couple days ago. I mean, it actually seems a week ago. Market close here gapped up, rallied, we went long. Now, again, we did calls, but I'm showing you here the day trade. We entered the market at 625.40, got out at 627.35. It was $2, almost. Nice trade. Again, 58.50 would have had to have a margin trade to do the trade. Again, this is a bullish gap. We went long. Hard to believe now after today, but it's true. We also did NVIDIA then the next day on the 28th. This was another bullish gap. Closed here, gapped up. This was a nice trade. Guess what? We did calls in this too. We went long, 193.60, got out 195.10. This was a day trade again, turned it around. Again, if you took 1,000 shares, you would have made more than $1,000. Took 2,500 shares, made $37.50. I'm risking an advanced trader risk. You could risk more than I'm risking. You could risk less. This, you would have needed a margin account, or you buy the call, but we did calls too. People like options because they're cheaper, and you don't need a margin account, but I like both. I like both. Then we did NVIDIA again. Really hard to believe here, but we did it. Closed here, gapped up, rallied. Again, entry was 207.90. Boom. I said 212. I was looking for 212. I got out a little bit early on this one, 210.20. It did get over 212. Again, I had the number in the letter, 6,900. Nice trade. Nice trade. Again, these are trades I called all in the room. You could have done with me. So again, some people like to be in the room because they're called the exact entry, the exact stop, and the exact exit. But you're going to learn how to do it in the class on your own. And you want to empower yourself to do it yourself. You want to empower yourself to be able to trade yourself. You can trade the U.S. stock market from anywhere in the world. You don't have to live in the United States to do it. You have to. We trade in the morning. So we open, the room opens at 9. We're trading between 9:30 a.m. and 10 a.m. Eastern time. You got to be there no matter what time zone you live in. So, I mean, some people are far, far away. Some people it's in the middle of the night. Some people it's in the morning. It's whatever works. I think the hardest time frame I've ever told anybody is like Hawaii, where it's like, I don't know, like crazy early in the morning, people have to get up to do it. That's probably the toughest one, rather than staying up late. But again, do what works for you. It's not like we're sitting for 6.5 hours to trade. But you definitely can learn it. I'm doing my best to help people. I think I do a good job teaching things in the class and trying to explain things in webinars like tonight so you can see if this is something you even think you want to do. But once you learn how to do it, it really will change your whole life. You'll be a lot more relaxed about money. When you're stressed about money, it can wreak havoc in your life, your relationships, your health. You can lose sleep at night if you're worried about money. No one wants to live like that. So again, there's no downside to making extra money. Even if you love what you're doing, you don't want to do it for a full-time job. For me, it was like, I really hated my mortgage job towards the end, like the last, I'd say 2 years. It was stressful and I had to get out. It was like working against me. And I'm so glad I did it. But again, when I started trading, it wasn't like I just boom, started making money. It took me 3 years to figure this out. So whatever the reasons are you want to do it, you do it for yourself, do it for your family, you know? Do it because you want to give yourself a better life. And sometimes that's about buying things, cars, houses, vacations, stuff for your kids, whatever. Sometimes it's just about having, again, peace of mind about the way the world is so crazy and not having to worry about stuff in the future. You know? Like right now, today's election day. I live in New York City. I voted a week ago. I have no idea what's going to happen now to New York with this election tonight. I don't even know if we're going to know tonight. And there's a lot of heated elections actually across the country today. So make the time to start trading. It's not that much time. You just got to sit at your desk in the morning and be in the room in the morning. And you got to make time for the class. It's all day Saturday, all day Sunday, 9 to 5. It's one weekend out of your life that you make time to do it. So if you're interested, the class is called the Golden Gap Course. This is a complete system to use to trade. You will learn all the pieces of the puzzle, all the entries, the exits, the targets, and of course the 26 points. This is the meat and potatoes of what I do and how I'm able to make money. And again, it took me 3 years to figure it out. The Golden Gap system is a 26-point professional bearish gap rating system. The purpose of the system is to help you evaluate which gap to trade each morning using a checklist. This checklist tells you what to trade and when and what direction. And the 26-point checklist predicts the directional bias in a stock, just like BA today, just like the market today, which sold off. So one strategy is all you need to be successful in the market. You do not need a general overall broad-based view to make money. It's not really going to help you. If you love reading about fundamentals and earnings and all that stuff, fine. But if it goes against the technicals or the gap rating, I'd go with the technicals. Tons of people have a lot of information in their head and they fail all the time. And they wonder, well, why didn't this work? I'm not long-term traders. I'm not running a hedge fund. I'm not taking swing trades. I'm not buying stocks and holding them for weeks and months and years. That's not what I'm doing. I'm not taking a certain amount of money and then growing it exponentially, by percentages, by holding and getting rallies. Yes, there's a lot of people that are doing that. And they're going to have a tough time if this market starts to sell off. In fact, that was one of the questions the guy asked me. He said, well, what would you tell somebody now that's been long the market? I said, well, if you can't hang on, I'd get out today. But of course, people don't do that. You know what I mean? When the market has made 1 million brand new all-time highs and every pullback has got bought, people will not stop doing it. But it's not going to last. So anyways, long story short, having a system to look at and something to look at that works in any market conditions is so beneficial. It helps you when the times are easy, and it helps you a lot when the times are hard. You know what I'm saying? And that's when you need it. But you really need it all the time anyways. Learn how to read institutional money and price patterns and gaps, and you don't need to do anything else. Because if your reason for doing this is to make money, then you will make money. Again, Rick, the fact that you made $1,800 in the Amazon trade on Monday is fantastic, considering the fact that I just realized today you don't even understand what a gap is. So you really are kind of trading blind right now. So you do have to do the class. But that's crazy that you even are trading now and making money, and you're blind with these gaps. And I could kind of tell that with some of the emails you were sending me, but I realize now today what you're thinking, and I see now why you didn't do anything today. But hopefully you've gotten that straightened out in your head, so you don't miss the next one. Anyways, the class is called the Golden Gap Course. It's November 8th and 9th. Only 2 more classes this year. Tuition is $69.99. Classes 9 to 5, Saturday and Sunday. And I'm doing a marathon special. The New York City Marathon was just Sunday. It was fabulous. And if you sign up for the bundle by Friday, which is, of course, the deadline to sign up for the class anyways, you will get the trading room and the newsletter free to the end of next year, which is a huge amount of time and lots of trades. And basically, you should do well. You should not feel rushed. You should be able to just sign up, do the class, start making money, and you can be relaxed and be in the room the rest of this year and all of next year and not even have to worry about renewing until 2027. And the bundle includes 3 classes. It's the Golden Gap, the Trends course, and the Gap Options course. So the November class is Golden Gap, and the Trends and Options is in December. I'm doing these in December now. Tuesday and Wednesday. This is Saturday and Sunday. And the class tuition for the bundle is $89.99, and that's how you get the special where you get the trading room and the options newsletter. Any questions? Anybody want to go over anything? Anybody that's interested in the class? Anybody can't chat? If you want to email me now, I'll check my email if you have a question. I see a couple people I've been here talking to. Greg, I don't know if you have any questions. Ron, James. Can you believe that it's less than 2 months till the end of the year? I seriously cannot believe that. This year has just flown by. How's everyone doing? Hello. Ron is there. Ron, I don't know if you... Yes, the bundle includes this special, which is the room and the options newsletter. And I know you want the room, Ron. And again, you're going to need it. Again, you can't get access to the room unless you do the Golden Gap class anyways. You could sign up for the options newsletter without signing up for their class. But the newsletter for 6 months is $49.99 and $69.99 for 12 months. So this is a good deal. I get that it's $89.99. It's an investment. But you're getting a lot. 3 classes and the subscriptions till the end of 2026. That's a long time and a lot of trades. And the idea is to follow me in the room. That's the idea. That's the purpose of it. And then you're there when I go over stuff, and again, like today, you know, where I'm going over the market. But the room is included with the bundle with the special that's going on through Friday for the class this weekend. And if you want to sign up, I wouldn't wait till the last minute because support has to get you set up. You got to get a login and ID, and you don't want to be rushed. Herman, do you have a question? Herman, you've been following me for a while too. There's something else I was going to say. We're talking about trading. I don't remember. I think we're going to have a very strong close to 2025 for the stock swoosh. So it's, I mean, it's just, again, the opportunities are there. We got to trade. We got to take them. Like, I wasn't planning on trading all day today. I had a million things to do. But it was like in my lap. So it was sort of like had to do it. And so it's kind of interesting. Again, you don't know. There's another one we did today, Oracle. Came all the way down to 245. Rick, you didn't do Oracle. You didn't do that either. Any basic questions about gaps or shorting? Any specific questions about the class this weekend, the marathon special, which is a good deal? It's still earnings season, but every single earning that would affect the market is already pretty much reported. All the banks reported, the big ones. It's all of these things that we're dealing with right now that are happening in the world and stuff like that. So again, the shutdown hasn't affected the market for weeks. It might be now. It might be now. I don't know if this is officially the longest shutdown we've had, or if not, it's going to be soon. You want something in the morning? You are funny. I don't know what we're going to have tomorrow morning. Why do you need to know tomorrow morning's trade now? You can't do it, Rick. Tonight's the time to rest. Rest your brain. I have no idea what we're going to do tomorrow morning. Like, again, you're basically saying, am I a psychic? I sort of am a psychic sometimes, it feels like, because I got up to this morning and I said we would fall. It didn't happen right out of the gate, though. It didn't happen right out of the gate, but it happened, and it played out that way. That's why you take the trade and you let it play out. But the fact is that I have no idea where we are tomorrow morning. What we could open here. We could be a baby gap. We could gap up. We could gap down. It could be a monster gap down. It could be a baby. We could be open neutral. We might not gap at all. I have no idea. It's like, again, I'm not a psychic to see exactly where we're going to be 12 hours from now, 13 hours from now. Longer. No, it's 5 o'clock. I don't know. But you can't trade now anyways. You're just chomping at the bit because you missed today's trades. Any other questions? Ron, how are you doing? Greg, do you have any questions? Stephen, you just came in, but you missed the whole lecture. I will say one thing. Trading is not boring. It is not dull. It is definitely exciting to do. One, making money is exciting. But two, making a lot of money is exciting. And you just don't know. Like tomorrow morning, I could get up and I am in trades right now that I decided to hold. And I could be up a lot of money in the morning. So I'm sort of excited to go to bed tonight and get up tomorrow. So trading is very exciting because sometimes things surprise you and they go way bigger than you ever could expect. Just like some things don't work, and that's a bummer. But the days that we hit it and everything goes in our favor in a big way, it's so fun to trade. And, you know, again, like I said at the beginning of the lecture, when you're bit by the market bug, there's no coming back. So you may as well just give into it and commit yourself to becoming successful. Because if the bug has bit you, you're going to have to figure it out. You get worksheets which you will use to rate the gaps and cheat sheets for sizing. There's no formula or template. I'm not sure what you mean by that. You will take notes during the class. You will have to take notes. And you will learn in the class how to go through the ratings yourself. I'm not sure I understand if that answers your question. And then you get a worksheet which you will use every day to rate every gap you rate. I'm not sure if that answers your question. But you will have to take notes in the class. You will have to be alive, awake, take notes. You won't want to be there and ask questions. Obviously, you want to get your money's worth. You want to learn it. But Rick, you really do need to do the class. I don't even think you have a basic concept of gaps. That's why you didn't do trades today. That's why there were some trades that you did and you killed it. And then they went. So That's got to be on your radar, even if it's not this month, maybe December. I think I'll say this one last thing on Liberty Go, and I'm going to make dinner and watch the election coverage on Fox. I think people just are so hungry. Yes, people want to make money. Yes, people want to make profits. I get it. But people really are very hungry to find a trading system that works. I know that from doing webinars for a long time, going to other people's events and things like that. People are just so voraciously hungry for a system that works after being through the ringer and doing a million different things that doesn't work. So you throw yourself into it, you spend the money, invest the time, and you learn it. You know, I've had the business now a long time. I'm trading a long time. I have people with me for more than 10 years that are still in the room. They don't have to be. They pay every year, and they know what to do, and they're there because of the trades that I'm calling and my own expertise. But you know, a lot of people are just hungry for something that works, and the little, you know, minuscule things that you have to work out with your sizing or your exits or your entries or little hiccups or things you don't understand, you will work out in time if you grasp on to a system that works. It's like so many people are just looking for that something that works. There's more things that don't work than do work, but that's the case in everything in life. Nope, you can't. Nope, you can't, Rick. You have to be there live and take notes. But if you're in the room every day, any question you have, you can ask me. I don't think you're not going to understand it, Rick. I'm just telling you now, you clearly don't understand what's going on here now. But you're trading and making money anyways. That in and of itself is like a testimonial right there. Like once you do the class, you'll understand it. Yeah, this is, I mean, it's new for a lot of people. It's just new. But this isn't like brain surgery, you know? I do my best to explain it. Any other questions for anybody? Listen, have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful night. If I get the article from Bloomberg, I'll send it out in an email this week. We'll see if it comes out tonight. Hopefully the guy will email it to me. Exciting times. We'll see where we go tomorrow. You're welcome. I will definitely get a good night's sleep. I don't know if I'm going to get to see who wins the mayoral race in New York City tonight or not. I may not make it up. I may not make it up because you're right, I am tired. All right, have a good night.